Hey, thanks for joining me. Digging around, I found this ASPEN sketchbook featuring Michael Turner and Talent Caldwell. So why not? Why not take an opportunity to look at some sketches from the late, great Michael Turner and also Talent Caldwell? Um, that's probably kind of rude sounding. It was meant to be a little bit of a joke, but he's another one of those artists where I don't know where he's gone or what he's doing. I hope he's out there working and drawing and doing good works. But I only ever saw Talent Caldwell's work when he was drawing. I think he took over Fathom, if I remember correctly. I knew he drew for Michael Turner, for Aspen Studios, and that type of stuff. And I think it was Fathom that he took over, and it's just a kind of another one of those examples of an artist who's got talent, but he's just nowhere as close to as awesome as the guy that he replaces, and it's not his fault. Who wouldn't take that opportunity? I mean, everyone would. He's definitely really good, but he just lacks kind of that magic that Michael Turner had. And Michael Turner, I seem to run into people that, for the most part, really love him, but some people kind of don't dig his weird stylistic approach. And I get it, but it has a very polished, interesting style that just kind of makes you look. I'm a big fan. And as always, of course, Michael Turner died. I looked it up, and I think it was 2008, because I was wondering where his death fell in relation to the printing of this book. This is issue 1 of 2003. I forget how old these things are. I forgot this thing even existed. So this is a few years before Michael Turner passed. And, they're going to make a book and sell it for $3 based on like the scribbles that are all over Turner's desk probably, and then pick up some sketches from the other artists that are working with him, and they're going to put out a book. But at the time, we were all interested, and I dig it. I'll pick up sketches, a book with nothing but sketch work based on an artist whose work I really like. You can see here the cover. The coloring basically takes over everything, because Michael Turner just kind of put down the very nice, very clean, basic lines. Michael Turner moved into an era where he did such clean pencils. I think I saw an interview where he talked about basically like inking with his pencils. We just did such a clean, final line drawing that inking was kind of unnecessary. And the way his work ended up being printed at the end of his career, when he wasn't using an inker, the average person probably never noticed. I did. I could certainly see it, but I think the average person wouldn't have noticed in the slightest. And did it really affect the quality of the work? Really? I guess I have to be honest and say no, but I liked his work a lot better when he was on Witchblade and D-Tron was inking him on the Witchblade book. And I'm a big fan of when Joseph Weems was inking him on Fathom. All that aside, sketchbook with some interesting pencils. I like these things. I wish they were bigger. Like each one of these images was the size of the page, so we could just see the detail, more clear. But this is kind of nice to see. These three here look like Turner. That is definitely not him. So that's got to be Talent Caldwell. It's, it's kind of fine, but it just stands out as not quite as good. And so they just take a bunch of his sketches. Looks like he was doing stuff, for Soulfire, with the main character Grace, and just doing head sketches, working out little elements like here you've got an ear, and then what kind of like earrings does she have, the little like tattoo designs around her eyes, and then a color mock-up. I'm wondering if this is just his colorist that they always use, Peter Steigerwald, I think is how you pronounce his name. Very good colorist. I'm wondering if that's him just doing a quick kind of color mock-up for this, for the sketchbook. Looks kind of neat. More designs, working out things. Got to have like the ass shot and show the little tramp stamp tattoo on the back of her with the little dragonfly design. That's actually kind of neat looking. This character Grace had these bug wings. They almost looked like mechanical in a way. I'm not quite sure. I did review Soulfire, the issues that I had, but boy, did I not get into the story. As much as I like Michael Turner's art, his later books, like I liked Fathom a lot when he was drawing it, but once he was done, suddenly it got uninteresting. And then, he did Soulfire, and it was visually beautiful because it's Michael Turner stuff, but I was not into the story at all. I kind of kind of couldn't have cared less. But I definitely appreciate and like it when an artist is coming up with ideas that they're very excited about and creates all these different designs. This kind of goofy looking cute little kid with a little weird cyberpunk thing in the pigtails. It's nice looking stuff. He could draw. Like Michael Turner absolutely had that magic. That's a nice shot. She looks strong and powerful with the big wings there. This is, I think, that one of the villain girls. I like this goofy looking face where he just, instead of trying to make her look so hot, he goes out of his way just to goof around and do a doodle where she's kind of ugly, just for fun. More character sketches, working out the designs of the dragons. Again, the dragons in this book, they looked like mechanical beings. I think they were, and they definitely have the dragon design, but a very interesting designed face. It's different than your kind of normal dragon monster that you would kind of expect to see in most kind of fantasy stories. These are some very, very rough sketches that they, again, went out of their way to do a quick color mock-up just to kind of see what they look like. But that's just a really quick, that's just a scribble. That's just a circle and just kind of scribble in the eyes and a nose and a mouth. Like you're just working out the composition when you're doing this shit. Again, it's just a scribble. You kind of throw down the hair and then you kind of work out the guy's body. And you're just working out basics. This is done in a matter of minutes. You're not worried about finish. You're just kind of working out composition. What is this going to kind of look like? It helps kind of get the ideas in your head on paper, even if it's just quick, rough stuff. It all kind of comes together. More monster creature designs by Turner. Looks freaking neat. They're weird, and I like that. I'm not quite sure what's going on back here. Doesn't matter. Just interesting monster designs. And then we get over to Talent Caldwell. So over here, I mean, it's been doing this on all the pages, but it has kind of they're listed as 1, 2, 3, and 4, just to kind of talk about what each thing is, but doesn't talk anything about the artist himself. Again, that's a really fine drawing. I really actually like the coloring on it with like the shadows of the tree, like the leaves being cast down on her. Again, I'm just assuming that's the colorist that does that. The drawing itself is certainly fine. The kind of anatomical foreshortening of her folded legs there, that's pretty dang good. Her face is kind of where it kind of falls apart with this jaw jutting out so far, but it looks like it's just a sketch. It's no disrespect meant to Talent Caldwell at all. I was never a big fan of his work. It just was competent, but never just struck me as like, holy shit, this is amazing. This is pretty damn good. This is like an actual straight up finished drawing. So it's got Talent and then Gorder. So I'm guessing Gorder, the only inker I know is Jason Gorder. I'm assuming he did inks on this. And then I can't tell what those signatures are in terms of who the colorist might be. But as is the case with Aspen Studios, which is essentially a branch of Top Cow, their coloring was always first rate. That looks pretty dang good, but I think the coloring is really, really selling that image. That looks pretty freaking sweet. Just checking that out. Pretty fantastic. And just more sketches of the characters. It's certainly fine. He kind of had a cartoonier look with bigger muscles and bigger hands. It's all fine. The side profiles look pretty good, but it's kind of just okay. This girl's face looks really good. The lips and the shape of the jaw, the eyes. I think that face looks really fantastic. So that's awesome of him there. I'm trying to, I think this is, I can't tell if this is back to Michael Turner or not. I don't think it is. Yeah, I think this is still Talent Caldwell. This is kind of fine. I kind of dig that weird shape and the pose. And that girl's figure, that looks awesome. Like, that's fantastic. Good pose. She looks kind of menacing. I like the dark rendering on the body armor. Like, that looks really good. There's a little bit of magic found there. Dig it. And then Ecos is how I assume you pronounce that. I don't know if it's Ecos, whatever it might be. This was like a third property that Michael Turner was going to get to. He did Fathom, and he did Soulfire. He's going to do Ecos. And then he died, unfortunately, and never got to it. There's a bunch of sketches and preliminary stuff, and I think I seem to remember there being talk about some other creators years later, like in recent years, were going to get this book going again. And maybe it did. If it did, I missed it. I gotta say, as much as I was not interested in Soulfire, I was really super not interested in this, just based on the visuals, the character sketches. Maybe once it come out, I would have enjoyed it, but this looked very uninteresting to me. But again, who cares what I think? Michael Turner is out there making concepts and books that he liked. He had the popularity, the name recognition, and the sales to fund all this stuff, and he should make any damn thing he wanted. And that's one of those things I think about when, I think about the sadness of him passing. Is here's a guy that just seemed like he loved to make comics. This is one of those things I give Turner big credit on. Is when I think of Michael Turner, his contemporaries to me in my mind were J. Scott Campbell and Joe Mad, all guys with kind of a similar popularity and rise to prominence, and then had hyper success on their own books. And to Michael Turner's credit, he seems like he's the one guy that wanted to make comics, not just draw covers or go make video games or whatever. Like, that's all them following their passions, and full respect to that. Joe Mad wanted to go make video games, and he's doing great, and he's, living his best life, and I appreciate that. And J. Scott Campbell never stops drawing, but all he does is covers, and I want to see comic books. I want to see stories from these guys. That's where the magic is for me. And Michael Turner seemed like one of those guys that he always wants to draw stories and sequential pages and bring his stories to life. And this was another one, even though it didn't look interesting to me. Respect to him for all the stuff that he wanted to do. And it sucks that he didn't get to see it come forth because he passed away from stupid cancer. But yeah, just weird creature designs. Like, it's all well done. It's all kind of interesting. He's a fantastic artist. Doing some machine designs. Sketchbooks are so fun. I could look at page after page after page of someone's sketchbooks, because just seeing them working out ideas and keeping it rough and energetic. Sketchbooks are just fantastic stuff. Just a sketch of like a landscape scene, and that's basically it. Says just a few of the abortive attempts at the company logo when they're trying to make the ASPEN logo. That's interesting to see the level of work that they put into everything to find the perfect logo. That's awesome. What are you staring at? You got her eyes and her tits. Look, that's funny. Like, a website, sure. Back in 2003, I wonder what it even looked like. But I think it's funny. Like, they know what the comics are all about. They put Aspen's knockers right up front. It's not gratuitous. It's not like there's like nipples staring at us and they're over. But they're focusing in on the chest. What are you staring at? Like, just having some lighthearted humor at it. I respect it. I like it. We need to be able to laugh at this stuff. So, but not much to it. It's just a sketchbook. Just something simple I saw. Just make a quick video. Always like to show Michael Turner's work. God, what a loss. It's just disheartening and sad every time to think about the cool stuff that he did and the stuff he could have been doing still to this day. So, it's sad. But any chance to just kind of keep his work alive, why not? Let's just look at anything of his that we can put on the channel. So that's all I've got for now. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.